Welcome to another podcast of the current situation Manchester United. Hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday evening so far, at least on my end. It's been a windy yet a coldy Sunday evening. I was outside doing some walking by, and it's like the wind was trying to grab my hand, trying to hold my hand, or trying to like shove me in a wooden light pole. I don't know if God or the wind had one of them days, or it's the amount of the time, but time of the month I should say. But yeah, it really felt like the wind and God was fighting or something. So it wasn't handsome at by any stretch. But in this video podcast, usually I would run my mouth for a couple of minutes saying some salutations or congratulations. But in this video podcast, I'm not going to go on crescents or any tangents. I'm just going to go straight to the point because this is a serious video as it relates to Mason Greenwood, and that is my boy. So I'm going to go straight into the topic for this video podcast and try my best not to go in any. I'm just trying to just zoom in on what I need to say, because this should give you should tell you why there have been other players out there that has actually had this similar type of story in their young careers, and they went to a situation and location where they didn't go where they were destined to. So as relates to Mason Greenwood, first of all, I'm going to go into a few transfer notes and some talking points as relates to some players. First of all, it's no transfer, not transfer, international break. Um, Anthony Martial has been a talking point for the past 24 hours. And Anthony Martial, I'm going to just keep it real in this video podcast. Anthony Martial is not a top tier number 9. I'm speaking at the moment, and probably, not probably, I say probably because he's still young and he has time to improve. So I'm not going to go on hold in my thoughts and opinions and assertions by saying that Anthony Martial is like a full-fledged pie that has been already baked. No, he's in the process of being a world-class beater. Now, whether he gets there, that's a different story. But at this moment in time, he has the potential, and that's why I'm going to speak on Anthony Martial as relates to Mason Greenwood. Players like Paul Pogba, Mason Greenwood, and Anthony Martial. I'm going to be speaking on these players as relates to Mason Greenwood. But Mason Greenwood is the main event for this video podcast. I want to zero in on Mason Greenwood, because this should be common knowledge anyway. We're speaking about football right now. I'm going to go straight into it. But first, I'm going to say that Anthony Martial played for France against Portugal. And he wasn't at it. My man, I don't know if... Sure, I need Scooby-Doo. What's his name again? What's that guy in Scooby-Doo? I need that guy to hold Anthony Martial's head and take it off, because I want to see if it's Emil Heskey under the mask of Anthony Martial, or it's Martial himself, because Martial missed 3 golden opportunities yesterday. 3 golden opportunities yesterday. My man couldn't. I don't know if he was full or something, or he was bloated, but my man couldn't finish his dinner at least 3 times yesterday. And it came to the point where Deschamps actually had to point out by taking him off and putting on his beloved Olivier Giroud up top. That is not going to do Anthony Martial's confidence good whatsoever. My man needs to be burying those. He's a good talent, but it needs to be evident that he needs to be, because I'm looking at the article of Mason Greenwood, so you might see me looking on I think this is the right side or left side, whatever. But Martial needs to be burying those chances for France and for Manchester. He has 2 goals in not in the Premier League, in our competition this season, and it's almost November. Well, it's November now, but it's almost December. So Anthony Martial needs to remember that half of the season is almost over and he has like 2 goals all season, which is not a good return. So my man needs to work on, again, everybody knows the class finishing of Anthony Martial, but it's not me going into Anthony Martial. It's just me pointing out that Anthony Martial has work to do. He's a confidence player, and he needs rapport, he needs encouragement and development, and that will lead to a location called the betterment of Anthony Martial. That is what Anthony Martial needs at this moment in time. So that is Anthony Martial. Secondly, I've heard a few persons saying that Odion Igalo has no future at Manchester United. My thoughts is this. Odion Igalo doesn't, at least for the next month, he has no future at Manchester United whatsoever. We have a declining and a waning striker in the name of Edinson Cavani. Yes, Tarzan is here, and he's here to stay at least for 2 years. And Odion Igalo is not going to get any games. Odion Igalo has been given his chances. He had a purple patch of form to inform fans that he's no Emil Heskey type of striker. But ever since, it's been evidently shown that he's actually showing himself to be a below, not only below average, I would say an average striker. My man should not be at Manchester United. But to his credit, because he loves Manchester United because he was smaller. Now that has to do with anything, but he came to his boyhood club. I think something is on my lip. He came to his boyhood club. He played for his boyhood club. He scored a couple goals. He scored a world-class goal against Lask, but I guess anyone can score the type of goal against Lask, right? But the technique he did to do it was just phenomenal. So I'm going to do my voter thanks for Odion Igalo in December. Basically a eulogy before he leaves Manchester United in December or in January. I'm not sure as yet. But in terms of transfers, Manchester United has been linked. We've been linked to him ever since 2013. Manchester United has been linked with former Manchester United top star, world-class beater, Cristiano Ronaldo. And I've heard a lot of enthusiastic thoughts and opinions, assertions, and strong opinions on Ronaldo coming back at Manchester United. Manchester United doesn't need Cristiano Ronaldo at this moment in time, and it will serve well for both parties. On the side of Cristiano Ronaldo, my man doesn't want to come back to Manchester United. If he comes back to Manchester United, he's going to get less than 25 goals. He might get probably 10 if he's lucky. But 25 goals, maybe 10 is too low, but 15 tops in the league I'm talking about. So he might net like 25 goals. I'm talking about the Premier League specifically. My man is not going to come to Manchester United just to finish 6th place and have no space of winning no trophies and not ending up on the Ballon d'Or list. He doesn't want that at this moment in time in his career. He's at the location and situation of his career where he needs to be winning trophies, and he's been winning trophies ever since. But my man doesn't want to leave on a low. You know, bro. So my man wants to stay on the top of the mountain. My man wants to stay on top of Mount Everest. My man doesn't want to, no disrespect to Manchester United, my man wants to win trophies. Now, will he win trophies at Juventus? Probably the league title, the Champions League, maybe not. But that is beside the point. My man doesn't want to go to Manchester United. And even from the realms or this perspective of Manchester United, because I'm finished with Cristiano's perspective, from Manchester United's perspective, that is going to stagnate the growth of Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood. We should not be doing that. Okay? As relates to penalties, my man wants to take penalties when he comes to if he comes to Manchester United. And we have Bruno Fernandes to take penalties, Paul Pogba to take penalties, Martial and Marcus Rashford to take penalties. And Mata can take penalties if he's playing. So we don't want that division in the dressing room, like with Edinson Cavani and Neymar 3 years ago. We don't want that type of show. Manchester United is not the Cargill to that type of show. We don't need that right now. We need young players to be developing, and that will bring them to the location called success and being great players with great prowess and finesse. That is where we need to be going. But as relates to Mason Greenwood, this is the main event for this video podcast. Mason Greenwood. Why criticisms like Mason Greenwood should not shock any Manchester United fan or any fan period. If you if you are an old head in football, if you're an old head in football, you would know that there are two types of players. There are two types of players. You have players that are with natural born talent, players that are not so talented but they work hard and they gain talent, and players that do have no talent, and even if they work for that talent, they ain't gonna get the talent. They ain't gonna see the light today with that talent. Those three categories of types of players, I would say natural born as relates to the realms of Manchester United. Natural born, I would say, is Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, Mason Greenwood. Players that are not so born with great talent, but they have great work ethic to actually develop their talent so that they can lead to the betterment of their career success. Is Marcus Rashford. Let's stick with Marcus Rashford for now. And players that have no talent at all, and if they work on it, it ain't gonna work out. Daniel James, clearly. So those three types of players, you could say the top tier is the natural born talents. Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, Mason Greenwood. The second tier is types of players where they have some talent to their game, but they need to strengthen that type of frame through training. Through training, it's going to give them positive reinforcement through the practice they have done on and off the pitch. Third tier, and no one wants to be here, this is where players that may not have no talent, they just have physical prowess like great speed, but they're not very good with their speed. They don't use their speed tactically, and even if they work on their other aspect of the game, they ain't gonna reach that far. That is Daniel James type of level. So that is top the three types of players in the realm of football. That can be stretched from outside of Manchester United. I'm going to be speaking outside of the realms and rings of Manchester United, because this is a serious topic we need to dive into. As it says right here in the article that give me a second, hold on. Manchester United fear Mason Greenwood could throw away his career like Ravel Morrison. Let us go back on memory lane for a second. Ravel Morrison came through the ranks of the academy at Manchester United in 2010-2011. Sir Alex Ferguson said this himself, that he's never seen a talented player through the academy system as talented as Ravel Morrison. And yes, Sir Alex Ferguson made a few mistakes in his career, but that was rare in his career. Yes, he signed Jemba and he signed Obatong, but still it would take some it gives some telling for a man of Sir Alex Ferguson's status to actually say that. Because my mind is not going to say that to any type of average Joe Schmo type of player. No, that's not the show. So there has to be something he's done on the pitch to show Sir Alex Ferguson the qualities which he would deem as a top quality player. That was Ravel Morrison. One of the biggest criticisms of Ravel Morrison was that he had poor work ethic and he was kind of a coon off the pitch. He was a troublesome player. He was a troublemaker off the pitch, and that affected his career. Right now, Ravel Morrison is playing at a Dutch club in Netherlands, and he's playing for my neck of the woods back in the Caribbean from a cute country called Jamaica. He's playing. He's not Jamaican. That's not the point. But he plays for Jamaica now. This is a nigga that should be playing for England. He should not be playing for Jamaica at this point. The reason why Ravel Morrison's career didn't go to par is because, and I'm going to be speaking on the player on a lot of Brazilian players, because this this article is no different from other Brazilian players by any stretch. We think of Ronaldinho, we think of Ronaldo, Nazario, we think of Robinho, and we think of, I wouldn't say Kaká, but I would probably say those three players along with Adriano, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo himself, and Robinho. Those four, again, I could name a few others, but I must stick to these four players, Brazilian players. Why do you think, speaking of the tier of footballers I mentioned, the three tiers, because the third one isn't the top tier. The first tier, that's the natural born players with great talent, and the second tier level players. If I was to ask you this, which of these two players do you think will have a longer career? At least an illustrious, great, colossal career. Do you think it will be players that are naturally born with the natural given talent, or it is the players that actually work hard throughout their career and led them to a situation where they were top players? Which one do you think is? Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Personally, for me, and again, opinions has no top tier division over other person's opinions. My opinion is this, and this has been shown throughout the ages of football. I would say that the second tier would lead you to a situation where you would have a longer career, a illustrious and a colossal career. No, that might not lead you to a situation where you'll win a lot of trophies, but as in terms of your development as a player, I would say a player that has some talent, but he works on his talent, that would lead him to a longer career than players that actually had the talent. Because ever since 2000, we have, if you guys know football, and of course I was a baby, I was sucking on breasts and titties, but I read a few sources, and Ronaldinho, when he was at PSG, my man had problems with the press, and also my man had a problem with the manager at the time when he was at PSG. The problem with Ronaldinho was that he came up to training late. That is one of the criticisms that has been stated against Mason Greenwood. He came to training late, he didn't train enough, and he didn't take training seriously. He was a party boy. He would party, and that continued when he was at Barcelona. My man was at, that's Ronaldinho, by the way. My man was at his peak for 3 years, from 2004 to 2006. My man was on his peak for 3 years. With the amount of talent that Ronaldinho had, you would not expect a man of Ronaldinho's caliber in terms of talent to be on his peak for 3 years. 3 years should be the years that you should be coming into being. You should be having like 8 or 10 years of peak. But my man only had 3 peak years. And in the following year, which was 2007, Frank Rijkaard, who was the manager for Barcelona, had criticisms for Ronaldinho. My man was getting fat. That was a fact. He was getting out of shape. He was coming to training late, and he had, of course, he was a party boy. He loved to party. I mean, he's Brazilian, so he can't help it. But he wasn't getting his priorities straight. Ronaldinho was not getting his priorities straight, and that led to the president of Barcelona selling him because he didn't have the discipline. He didn't take himself seriously, and he wasn't in the form that he was in prior. You might ask, what's my point? My point is the reason why Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood have been getting all these criticisms and them not being the best version of themselves, because they know these players have the talent. They know these players are given with natural born ability. Like Paul Pogba can dribble at a slow pace. That's why some people call him Jogba, right? Jogba, not Jogba. But people know Anthony Martial is a very, very good at dribbling. He can beat you one-on-one. He can twist you, turn you into noodles, bro. I mean, he could have you for noodles. He could twist and turn you into entanglement. You know what I'm saying? And thirdly, Mason Greenwood, who has been at the neck of the media as of late. The reason why the media and other Manchester United fans and fans from football want talented players, and this even goes to Neymar, this goes to other talented players. Why do you think those talented players have no motivation to better themselves throughout their career? Why? Because they know they have the talent. They believe they don't have to work hard enough like the average person. That was Ronaldo's downfall when he was at Real Madrid. When he was getting fatter, Ronaldo Nazario, I'm speaking of, in his final years at Real Madrid, he was getting fat. But even when he was getting fat, he was still beating players. He was still dribbling past players and scoring illustrious goals. But something, his work ethic was not up to par. Why was his work ethic not up to par? Because he knew he had the talent. I mean, it's like any person that is very good in mathematics and naturally born in mathematics. Again, I'm not very good in mathematics. I'm far from it. I hate mathematics. I despise mathematics. But if you were to wake up a naturally born given talent person in his sleep at 12 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. and wake him up and ask him ask him an algebra question, he will tell you like that, because he know that nigga could be sleeping through class. That nigga could be missing extra lessons after class and still getting top grades on his exams. He might be getting criticism from the teacher, but what's up, bro? You're coming to extra classes late. You're not coming to classes, period. But you're getting good grades. Yeah, you're getting good grades, but no, I want you to come to my class. You don't have a good work ethic. What is their motivation to come to class when they know they're good already in the subject? What was Ronaldo's, Robinho's, and Adriano's motivation? I'm gonna leave out Adriano out of this. What was Robinho's motivation? Robinho was very talented. Very talented. He could. People would say that he was the godfather of stepovers before Cristiano Ronaldo came into being. That was Robinho. Robinho could do 50 stepovers in 10 seconds. And he could beat players, and he could he was a real Samba boy at his core. But what you cannot ignore was that his work ethic was poor. That is something you cannot ignore. Also, he was a party. Well, most Brazilian players are party boys already. I mean, it's just in their system and culture. But you have to differentiate culture from your playing, bro. And as relates to Ronaldo, when he was at Real Madrid in 2005 or 2006, my man was coming to train or not coming to train at all. He was getting fat. But he knew that he had the talent to back it up. So even if he falls and doesn't come to training, I still can score 2 goals. I don't need to work harder like the other players because I'm naturally talented. And that is the aloof attitude that most persons that are talented possess. Players that are not that talented but they have great work ethic like Cristiano Ronaldo, they will work hard to be a top player. They will go through hills and valleys to be a top player. They will kill battles and go through a wall to be a top player. And that was Cristiano Ronaldo in his younger years at Manchester United. What you need to understand is that young players, when they know they have the talent like Ravel Morrison, Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, or Paul Pogba, they are not going to work as hard as the average player that might have some talent to them and they have room for growth. They are not going to work as hard. Whether you like, if you are a semi-pro manager or a professional manager, or if you're only gonna search car with yourself watching this nigga through the screen, you would know that there are some players that don't work as hard. They don't need the extra training because they don't believe they need that type of training. But whenever they're playing ball on the pitch, they're killing man and scoring goals. They're killing man and scoring goals. Let's talk about women for a second. If you're a guy that can get high quality women with a low degree of money, like you're bringing her to a date or something, or for most times you don't even spend money on her at all, but there's some other guy that has to work two jobs. He owns a business and he has to dish out money just to sleep with her on the first date. But you on the other end, but me on the other end, or you on the other end, is able to sleep with the same woman for free. What is your motivation to try and marry this woman when you can sleep with her on the first date? What's your motivation? If you're a guy that is not successful with chicks or banging chicks or banging birds, if you're English, you're going to compensate with money. You're going to compensate with money. And the same thing, Napoleon Hill said this in his book, bro. He said that the reason why most guys want to have a high achievement of career success or have the best type of dressing or the cars, because they want to attract a high quality mate. But this is why you need to understand. If you're a dude that can attract any chick on the block and you're broke, what's your motivation to try achieve those career success just to attract a female? What is your motivation when you know you have the natural charm and charisma to attract a certain female when the average Joe Schmo down the street can't? He has to dish out money to the female to at least sleep with her or get a kiss. What's your motivation? Mason Greenwood, I'm not saying what is being said here is 100% true, but there's some validity to that assertion. Get this in your head. Get this in your head. Natural players don't have a motivation to train hard. They don't. They don't. They know they have the natural talent there. Whether that talent can be grown over time, that I'll leave that for another time. But at this moment in time, natural players like Mason Greenwood has no motivation or little to no motivation to try bust their ass throughout the gym to work on their stamina or whatever. They have no motivation. Even if they throw away their careers like that, they know I can go on a long ass rant, but I just want this to be drilled in your head, bro. Mason Greenwood proves why a lot of talented players get a lot of criticism. Anthony Martial has been getting a lot of criticism, and it's not right. It's not like it's destructive criticism. Some of it is subjective criticism, objective criticism, and definitely constructive criticism. They know that Anthony Martial can do better. They know that Anthony Martial has a higher pay grade than Marcus Rashford. But because Marcus Rashford who may not be as talented as Anthony Martial, he's working his socks off. And he's getting the reaps and rewards for working his socks off. Anthony Martial is a talented player. Let's not get it twisted. My man is better than Kylian Mbappe. I'm gonna just put it out there. He's better. Anthony Martial is better talent-wise than Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe has work ethic. Marcus Rashford has work ethic. Cristiano Ronaldo has work ethic. And it's funny I mentioned those three players because Cristiano Ronaldo is the influence to Mbappe and Marcus Rashford. You notice that most persons don't really deem Messi as a motivator. Why is that? Because they deem Messi as an unrelatable person. Messi has God-given talent when it comes onto the pitch. That is like God sent from heaven to earth when he's playing at Barcelona Camp Nou. The reason why a lot of persons can relate to Cristiano Ronaldo is because they know he doesn't have natural talent in comparison to Messi, but because he worked his skin off to get at least a bit of Messi's talent in terms of dribbling, ball control, beating players, at least in his younger years, they know that man had to work for that. No, he had some ability, but he worked on that ability with his agility. But mostly he worked on his technical ability. The good thing about technical players is that even when they get older, they can still be effective. Like we look at One Mata. One Mata is like almost 34. And my man can still kill players, score free kicks, and ping out a pass. Like his talent has the potential to last, just like other class natural players. But those natural players, unlike One Mata has work ethic. So that's a different gravy. But I'm talking about the average Joe Schmo talented player. Mason Greenwood and other talented players have little to no motivation to work their asses off because they have the talent already. So there is no motivation to work like a hog or a horse in training. They have no motivation. Even if they come late, they know that they have the skill. I would say Scott McTominay is in the second tier, which is having some talent, but he needs to work on it. Scott McTominay he has some talent, but as in comparison with natural, nah. When my man came out of the academy, my man was flung into the deep end. People were saying, who is this 6'4" Scottish white boy? No man, screw him. He can't do anything on the pitch for Manchester United. And you could say that he's been doing the work ever since Jose Mourinho has left Manchester United. This is the take-home point in this video podcast as I close. Maybe I didn't run it. Because I wouldn't say I'm really good at that, at like zooming on the point, but I want you guys to get the point that I'm trying to portray and say. Naturally born talented players have no motivation to work hard as players that have some talent, but they have great work ethic. They have something to compensate for their lack of naturally born talent. That's my message. We look at Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was a beast when he was at Juventus, but when he came to Manchester United, my man hasn't been at it ever since. Cause obviously I'm not in the mind of Paul Pogba, but to rub my balls a bit, I can actually read person's behavior without them even saying anything. There is a reason towards any person's behavior. That doesn't happen arbitrarily or by accident. There is always a reason behind a person's behavior. The reason why Mason Greenwood is not really coming to training or he's been a trouble boy ever since is because he knows he has a talent. So even it's like that worker. If you work at a place, I'm pretty sure you have come across a person that is very natural. He's good at work. He's good at typing. He's good at everything. Just doing everything to what he's just naturally good like that. Or it could be a person at KFC that's just good at frying chicken or serving chicken, and that person may come in late. But why you think that person's behavior will be excused? His bad behavior will be excused. Not because he got employee of the month, but he has the talent. He has the talent to excuse his bad behavior. Now, I'm not saying his bad behavior is good because it's bad, obviously, but persons that are good in a field, they have no motivation. Not, I'm talking about naturally good now. Have no motivation to be working as hard as other average persons. That is my point. So I have to point this out, bro. I need this is on 35. I need to work. I need to like beat this in you guys' heads. Mason Greenwood is not going to throw away his career, but I would not be surprised if he does. That is number one. And secondly, I won't be surprised if his career doesn't shoot off as high as we would expect it to be. There's always a downside to a good coin. There's always a downside to a good coin. Players that are naturally born with talent, they are not going to work as hard as players that don't have no talent or have the talent, but they need to work more on it. As relates to longevity of football career, this is where I would have to concede defeat, wave the white flag and say players that are naturally talented will not have a longer career than players that have some talent. My lips are dry. Some talent. I need to get a kiss sooner or later. Some talent, but they work on that talent. And because they worked on that talent, why I think players like Zlatan, Cristiano Ronaldo, old players like Maldini, when he was playing football, of course, because he doesn't play football now. Well, his son does, but why I think those players had longevity of career, and like players like Totti, that striker that played for Sampdoria last season in Italy, and he got top scorer. Why I think those players were? Would you say those players were naturally talented in some aspects and some respects of the game? But you cannot. See, I'm forgetting the word right now. You cannot. You have to. You cannot. See, you cannot forget the fact that these players are not as naturally born talent with like Ronaldo or Ronaldinho or Messi. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Mason Greenwood doesn't have that urge, that drive, that motivation to be going to training early when he knows good well he's talented and gifted already. He has no motivation. And the motivation he has is say, well, I can excuse 5 minutes because I'm gonna score a goal tomorrow. I'm gonna score a Van Persie's goal tomorrow. So I don't need to train as much as the average Joe Schmo like Daniel James or Scott McTominay. You see? Something again. So that is my point, bro. As I close this video podcast, think on everything I have said. Mason Greenwood and other talented players are the reason why they have a short-lived career. No, Mason Greenwood will not have a short career, hopefully, because I'm not God or a fortune teller. But let us not be surprised if that happens. Paul Scholes retired from England early. Paul Scholes retired from Manchester United when he was like 34 or 35. Which is a good age, but that's not the point. The point is, you have players like Gerrard, who is not as talented as Scholes. Lampard, who is not as talented as Scholes, played longer for England. Longer for England. Because they had longevity. Longevity goes deep. Longevity goes deeper than how naturally talented a player is. If you don't have the talent, if you're not heaven sent, if you're not born with football intelligence, but you have the work ethic to back it up, and you actually get to that situation where you're actually a top player, God bless you. God bless you. Any person that is blessed in a field or is blessed in chemistry, physics or anything what is or what metaphysics, whatever it is, or football, whatever it is, they are not going to have a strong motivation to whether study. They will study, but they ain't go study as much as the average Joe. They have no motivation. They are naturally good in that area. That is my point. As I hit the 40 minutes. So again, think on everything I have said. And again, I'm no be all end all by any stretch. I'm just a Joe Schmo, just yakking my mouth and running my mouth on a phone screen. But I mean, a broken clock is twice right a day. Right twice a day, right? So I might be saying some actually good stuff. But the take home point is that don't be surprised if Mason Greenwood's career doesn't just shoot off. He has the talent, like Ravel Morrison. Ravel Morrison had the talent. Where is he at right now? Where is that right now? Ronaldinho had the talent, and he's been at the top for like 3 years, 3 seasons, but he came down. He was an applied classic from Mount St. Helens down to south, down to the bottom. Why didn't Robinho, who was I wouldn't even say he was like world class for a season, but he was good for some seasons, right? To be considered a good player. But why think his career didn't have longevity in it? Why I think Ronaldo and Zlatan's career had longevity? Because they're hard workers. Hard workers go deeper than talent. That is my takeoff point as I close this video podcast. World-class talent can take you so far. Work ethic pushes you past the finishing line. That is why naturally born players, for better or for worse, they are not the players that will go to that length of having longevity careers. They will be still very good at football if they retire early, but they just don't have the motivation. Not even money will motivate them that much. Because Ronaldinho was making hella money at Barcelona, but that didn't motivate him to stay at Barcelona or work hard. My man got fat when he was at Barcelona. Ronaldo got fat when he was at Real Madrid. What's their motivation? They didn't have a long, illustrious career. Understand this as I close for the umpteenth time. Mason Greenwood is not going to throw his career. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I could have coined that with Angel Gomez, but Angel Gomez is no longer a player. But I went with other players from other clubs, so that's a bit unfair, but I just wanted to zero on Mason Greenwood so I won't make this video long. Mason Greenwood has the God-given talent to score world-class goals. He has the world at his feet. But this is where talent and work ethic needs to meet, because if he doesn't meet, he will go to a location called defeat. If he defeats himself, people are going to say Mason Greenwood had the talent, but he didn't assert or exert himself enough to be a top player. He had the talent, but he just didn't have any motivation. Keep this in mind. Mason Greenwood is a great player in the making. He has great talent that can be in the making if he gets his head out of his ass and work harder. But players that have natural talent, they just don't have the motivation, bro. For better or for worse, they just don't. They can get a right hand and the fellowship in the face or a big boot up in their backside. But something you cannot subside is that they have the talent. They know what they can do on the pitch. They have no motivation to train as hard, if not train at all. Mason Greenwood this is going to be a very interesting season, because this might make or break Mason Greenwood's future and career. Hope you guys enjoyed the video podcast. Like the video podcast, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll show you guys in the next video podcast. Peace.